From the boulevards of Paris to the waterways of La Serenissima, we're checking in with the world's oldest movie meetup in today's show. Venice's 76th International Film Festival is in full swing, and to tell us more about this year's lineup, Emma Jones joins us now from Venice. Hi, Emma. This year, the Mostra opened with strong criticism because they decided to include work from directors such as Roman Polanski and Nate Parker, despite a certain amount of controversy surrounding those filmmakers. What happened there in the end?
Yes, regarding Roman Polanski, I think the controversy about him being allowed to show here probably did a marvellous job of publicising the film. And it's actually the most interesting thing about the Polanski film, which is called An Officer and a Spy, or J'accuse. Now, of course, Polanski didn't come to Venice himself since 1977. He's been wanted by the US authorities after he pled guilty and then fled after having sexual intercourse with an underage girl. The film stars Jeanne Dujardin and Louis Garrel, and it's a very dry, intricate historical drama which looks at the Dreyfus affair set in France in the 1890s. And I think that despite its important message about endemic anti-Semitism, it's not in line for a big prize here in Venice on Saturday night. Now, it was left to Polanski's wife, Emmanuelle Seigner, who's also in the film, to speak at Venice for the film.
As for Roman, it's difficult for me to talk on his behalf. All that I can say is that his feeling of persecution, I think, is quite easy to understand. You only have to look at his life. Of course, I've shared his life for a long time. Actually, today is our 30th wedding anniversary.
As for Nate Parker, you may remember that his previous film, Birth of a Nation, was derailed by historic rape allegations. Now, Nate Parker came to Venice with his new film, American Skin, and publicly apologised for what he called the tone-deaf response he gave when those allegations surfaced a couple of years ago. It has to be remembered that Parker was acquitted of those allegations, and there seems to be quite a lot of goodwill in Venice towards him, and particularly his film, American Skin, which I personally found a quite brilliant exploration of racial profiling by the police in the black community of the USA.
Now, Emma, another complaint about the festival was that it wasn't doing too well with gender equality, getting enough female filmmakers in there compared to other big festivals like Cannes and Berlin. Now, tell us more about the two films in competition from the only women directors.
Sure, there were accusations at the beginning of the festival, like many film festivals, that Venice is a bit of a boys' club. However, the two films in competition by women are extremely good. One is by an Australian director, Shannon Murphy. It's called Baby Teeth. It's a very, very bittersweet comedy, a coming-of-age story. The other one is by the now quite prolific Saudi Arabian director, Haifa Al-Mansour. Her film is called The Perfect Candidate, and it's a look at what happened when a woman ran for political office in Saudi Arabia. So let's have a look at the film and also what Haifa Al-Mansour had to say about her hopes for women in the film industry.
We can empower younger generation to take us to be able not to work as hard as we did to assert ourselves, to come to the workplace and find themselves respected without really having to go through that fight, to go to a place and find themselves able to work without managing all the politics around it. And I want my daughter to enjoy a place like that in the future.
Well, Venice opened this year with a Franco-Japanese collaboration, The Truth, starring Catherine Deneuve and Juliette Binoche. That was directed by Hirokazu Kore-eda. And for those of us who weren't lucky enough to be at the premiere, let's take a look at this short clip.
Toi, tu t'en vas? Oh, c'est un peu soudain, non?
Pourquoi tu fais ça? Sans toi, elle va pas s'en sortir. Moi? Ah non.
Ah, vous formez un bon duo.
Ah non, c'est hors de question.
Maman, ça va commencer, là.
Évite de m'appeler maman ici.
Bah, comment veux-tu que je t'appelle?
Ah, autrefois, elle n'était pas comme ça.
Moi, j'ai toujours connu comme ça.
All-star cast there then. So Emma, how did that film go down with the critics?
It's been very unusual, you know, to start with a film that's not a big Oscar potential here at Venice. And it has had very, very decent reviews. People saying what a lovely Franco-Japanese collaboration it is. But Catherine Deneuve is really the star of this show. She has had probably one of the best performances in recent years as Fabienne, who's a French diva actress who says things like, I don't mind being a bad wife and a mother as long as I'm a good actress. And Binoche is also very, very good as her very frustrated scriptwriter daughter. Anyway, Catherine Deneuve has been speaking about some of the complexities of a French cast interacting with their Japanese director on set.
Even when you're playing a character, you always put a lot of yourself in a role, and especially this one. Knowing that the relationship would be complicated since Kore-eda doesn't speak French or English, so we would always have an interpreter in the middle, which finally forces you, and it's not a bad thing, to say only essential things to each other.
Ever the class actor, Catherine Deneuve. Now, apart from Polanski's J'accuse, have we seen any other French productions make an impact at Venice this year?
Yes, you know, well, Gaspar Noé, Monica Bellucci and Vincent Cassel came back to Venice for a new linear edit of that 1990s classic film Irreversible. And I have to say that it was just as harrowing in its new edits as it was first time around. Also, Olivier Assayas has returned to revolutionary politics with his new film, The Wasp Network. This is quite a good watch. It's set in Cuba. It stars Penelope Cruz, Edgar Ramirez and Wagner Moura. It was filmed in Havana, and he made the cast learn Cuban Spanish, which Penelope Cruz said she found particularly challenging. Also, there is a film here today by director Robert Guédiguian, which is a French production. It's called Gloria Mundi, but of course, it's only showing today, so we can't yet say what the reviews are.
Okay, we'll have more on that later. But Venice is seen as the gateway to the Oscars. And if we think of films that have premiered there like Black Swan or Birdman or The Shape of Water, they've gone on to pick up big prizes. Is there anything you've picked up on already that's going to be big?
I think that from the Venice screening of Joker by Todd Phillips, that currently the Best Actor Oscar is Joaquin Phoenix's To Lose. I cannot stress how brilliant his performance in this film is. And also, I really, really like the film. I like Todd Phillips' emphasis on mental health and also the easy access to guns in America. And I think that also if American Skin gets awards buzz, then I think gun crime will be a hot topic of discussion in Hollywood this awards season. Also here, very, very prolifically, is Netflix. Netflix has several productions here. One of them is called Marriage Story. It stars Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, and this has had an extremely good critical reception. Another film that's got very, very good reviews is The King. Now, this is a reimagining of Shakespeare's Henry V. It stars Timothée Chalamet and also Joel Edgerton, who co-wrote the script. Now, I found it quite a dry historical, very much in the manner of Netflix's The Outlaw King. But there's been lots of praise for Timothée Chalamet's performance, so take a look and see what you think.
A new chapter of my life has begun. Already I can feel the weight of this crown I wear. I've been forced to rely upon the counsel of men whose loyalty I question every waking moment. I need men around me I can trust. Here because you're my friend.
King has no friends. King has only followers and foe.
Finally, Netflix has The Laundromat, which is a typically Steven Soderbergh quirky, offbeat look at the Panama Papers, that great financial scandal. It stars Gary Oldman and Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep wasn't pulling any punches at all about it when she came to Venice. Let's hear what she had to say.
It's a crime not without victims. And the victims, many of them, are journalists. Some people died for it. Daphne Caruana Galizia, Maltese journalist, who was investigating someone at the top of the government in Malta. And his connection to the Panama Papers was blown up in her car in front of her home. People died. And people die still to get the word out. That's why this movie is fun, it's funny, but it's really, really, really important.
Well, some very welcome gravitas from Meryl Streep there in this quite glitzy event. Now, finally, Emma, with all those to choose from, what about the Golden Lion on Saturday night? What do you think's going to win?
Do you know what? I think an open field at the moment, Olivia. Sorry to hedge my bets, but I must mention a film called The Painted Bird, which is by Czech director Václav Malhor, and it's based on an adaptation of the book by Jerzy Kaczynski. And it's black and white, it's 169 minutes, it's in Slavic Esperanto, and it's the tale of how a small Jewish boy survives World War II. Now, with those kind of credentials, it should be a shoo-in for the Golden Lion, but this film is so harrowing. It had critics running for the exit doors. In fact, I think it's going to be a future badge of honour, as I did, to say that I sat through all 169 minutes of The Painted Bird.
Well done you, Emma. I must admit I have heard extraordinary things about that film, The Painted Bird, and it will certainly be one to watch out for when it arrives in cinemas. Well, thanks for giving us that rundown, Emma. We'll leave you with a clip of The Painted Bird. Remember, you can get more movie news on our website, and you can keep up with Encore on social media too. Stay with us here on France 24. There's more news coming up in just a moment.
Значи, ти єси на путу додому.